cursed luck. Well, well. Distinguished guests.
For the love of God. Does it have to be him?
Trust me, friend.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
We need to have a word with you.
Would your graces care to sit?
I think not.
What brings you to my humble rectory, gentlemen?
Are you all packed, Godwin? I heard you got kicked out of your humble rectory.
Your concern is really touching, Hanush. Did you come to see me off, or to help me do my laundry?
Watch your mouth, priest. You might end up losing more than your parish.
Easy, my friend. Don't let him get you all worked up.
I'd like to teach him a good lesson.
But that's not why we're here.
Bah!
Well, why are you here then?
We have a secret mission for you.
Secret mission? Sir Radzig, I hope you're not trying to drag me into some state espionage game of yours. Somehow, over the years, I fell out of the habit of being inconspicuous.
You buffoon! Let his lordship finish!
Do you know about Lord Capon's mission?
Aye. I heard a word or two about that. Where was it you sent him? Trotsky?
Yes, to Sir Otto von Bergoff's castle.
Royal Chamberlain von Berger? The League of Lords fella?
You know more than I'd expect from you.
It doesn't surprise me. I also know that Trotsky is about 3 days' ride away.
2 days, weather permitting.
The young lord should have been back long since then, shouldn't he?
He should. But he's not.
And now you want me to find out why he's not here yet.
That's right. You'll go to Trotsky and see if anything's happened to him.
Why don't you send Henry after him? As far as I know, he's always done a good job for you.
That's exactly why he went with Capon.
So it's more serious than I thought. All right. I'll do it.
Well, that went better than I expected.
Oh, don't get ahead of yourself. I won't rest until my nephew is safely back in Perkstein.
When should I go?
Right away.
Fuck! Did they have to lock us up in here of all places? I have a feeling these walls are moving. The cell is getting smaller and smaller. Can you hear me? Let me out! Hey! Hear me!
Give it a rest. No one's come in.
I feel like we're going to be crushed here.
Well, that ought to bring us closer together.
Very droll. I just don't like these kind of places.
Like jails. Not a lot of people do.
No, I suppose they don't. Listen here, Henry. I wanted to say, well, that I'm glad to see you again. Henry?
After all, as you know, I'm just a common dung grubber, while you're the great Bellatore.
Bellator? But I was stupid to think like that. It was stupid. But now I'm sitting here too for behaving like a Bellator. I might have left you in it.
Yeah, you might.
Nevertheless, Henry, I wanted to say that, well, you were right. I behaved badly. Awfully.
All right. I accept your apology. All water under the bridge, eh? Old pal.
Thanks. So, what were you getting up to the whole time, anyway?
I was working in the blacksmith's forge in Takov.
Oh, well, lucky for you, you have a trade you could work at.
Sort of. Most of the time I was actually chasing after lost carts or scrambling over the rocks looking for hermits.
Well, at least you weren't bored, eh?
What about you?
I also stuck to what I'm best at.
What, boozing and whoring?
Ha-fucking-ha. Hunting.
But where did you get the gear for that? We arrived in Troskowitz like a pair of beggars.
By using the old noggin, pal. I pulled a strong thread out of those rags I had on, made a snare for game, and before you could say jackrabbit, I was hawking half a dozen hares around the local cottages.
Weren't you worried about the local gamekeeper?
That nitwit! I found out he was fond of the booze, so I snooped around his lodge, and when sleeping it off, I went hunting. Once, I even went into his shed and, borrowed a bow and a quiver full of arrows.
Thieving, too, to top it all. Christ!
Oh, give over. Once things are sorted out, I'll give it all back. Shh, quiet! There's something going on outside the door.
Have you seen Captain Thomas? Yarrick says he's in a bad way.
He's right. Them fuckers cut him up good.
Last I heard from Father Nicodemus, though, was that his wounds are healing.
Aye. Only he's been struck down by a fever. And the Sawbones is away with Sir Otto.
Good God!
Captain Thomas! Yes! He met us before we reached the pond, didn't he? We showed him our letter.
But he's in a fever. You heard them.
Oh, we'll deal with that somehow. Hey!
Leave it be.
Hey! Open up, you rabble! We're messengers from Ratai. Your captain can confirm it. Do you hear?
Again?
Those damned fools won't give us any peace.
Come on, fellas! Be reasonable. We're envoys of the Lord of Lipa.
About time. Just you wait till Lord von Berghoff hears how you treat a noble.
You, come with me to the courtyard. Chamberlain says we ain't gonna waste bread on you for nothing. We've got a job for you.
What about me? I want to talk to the captain right now.
You want to talk to God, fella. You're getting the gallows for poaching.
What? But you can't hang a nobleman.
Jesus, wait! Hear that? That bell's tolling for you, mate. 12 more times, and the priest will come for you. Hans!
But you can't!
Hans, don't worry, I'll fix it! Move it!
I'm a nobleman! You hear me? I'm a noble! I'm Sir Hans Capon of Bergstein.
So, if you want to get out of here, you'll have to make amends and work off your debt. For a start, you can carry all the charcoal from this wagon up to the store.
Wait, though. What's going to happen with Capon?
With that madman? He was poaching, so he'll swing.
But he really is a noble.
Ain't you a bit old for fairy tales, son? Once the bell tolls for the 12th time, it won't matter a damn who he used to be anyway. If you want to do something for him, pray. And best pretend you don't know him.
Your Captain Thomas can testify that we're envoys from Ratai. It's the truth, I swear.
Don't you say a word about our captain. We don't know if the poor fellow will live to see morning. They moved him during the night to the chapel at the very top of the Maiden. It seems only God can help him now.
What about my things? You took everything away from me.
That's what happens to people in jail. When we set you free, you'll get your stuff back. In the worst case, we might keep something to cover the damages you caused at the wedding. Got it?
Got it. What happens when I'm done with this?
What do you reckon? You'll get another job. And when there's no more work for you, you can bugger off wherever you like.
That's all?
Aye? What do you expect? The axe? Lord von Bergov is strict, but he ain't a tyrant. But poaching now, that's another matter.
Do you always ring the bells before an execution?
Aye, it's a local custom. They say back in the past, the local lord slept through a scheduled execution, and they had to release the condemned man. Don't worry, that won't happen today.
Why did they move your captain to the chapel? All that way up?
So he'd be closer to God. Either the good Lord will help him, or take him to his bosom. The captain's in a really bad way. And our Sawbones is away with Lord von Bergov.
And can I go there? I really have to talk with Captain Thomas.
Don't fucking annoy me, fella. You got off lightly so far, believe me.
What? You won't even let me pray in the chapel?
We will not. You're not allowed inside at all. And don't let me catch you snooping around there.
I'll get to work then.
Good lad. The store's up by the gate to the inner bailey. Orsina the blacksmith is idling around somewhere there. He'll think up some job for you. Or go down to the outer bailey where they're building the scaffold near the gate. They'll be working up there for sure. And no wandering around where you're not allowed. Don't stick your nose inside the castle. Got it?
Yeah. Got it.
Good food and drink. Lots of guests. Not enough pretty girls for my liking. It's a lot better here in Crossfire.
And why wouldn't they when it's true? It'll be bad, I tell you.
No, seems to me it's always the same. Bad.
Well, it'll be even worse. Look, there's a rabble running rampant over the country.
That's that.
Tortured with ulcers and fits.
Lord Zen's wedding like?
It was nice. Good food.
And when that's all done, let the maids get stuck into cleaning, so you don't show me up in front of his lordship.
Sir, I want to ask you something.
You? What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be helping outside in the courtyard? Christ! First you cause mayhem at a noble wedding, and now you go snooping around where you shouldn't.
I noticed, sir, that something is troubling you. I could help you.
How could a vagabond like you help me?
Sir, I might not look the part, but I've read a lot.
Don't waste my time with your jokes, you nobody. What would you be able to read?
Species de cipit, sir. Looks can deceive. As it happens, I've read many Latin and other texts. For example, the etymologies of Isidore of Seville, the writings of Abbess Hildegard of Bingen, and the Herbarium de Horis Sanitatis, De Materia Medica, and others.
Well, you really surprise me, lad.
Anyway, I'll examine you and try to make a diagnosis.
Yes, that should help.
Tell me, Master Chamberlain, does it hurt all the time, or does it come in waves?
No, not all the time. More like I get attacks.
Uh-huh. And these attacks, have you noticed whether something sets them off?
Well, it's worse when I get upset.
And does it get worse in autumn, when it gets colder?
Yes, it's usually worse in October. Then I don't even have to get upset for it to start.
All right, that makes sense. Did you get advice from anyone about it? Have you tried anything for the pain?
Well, I talked to our surgeon. He just said it was odd and told me nothing more. So I went to Kolin to see Professor Joachim Bavorsky, and he advised me.
Yes? What?
It's a little awkward for me to talk about, I must admit.
Master Chamberlain, I'm here as a practitioner of the medical arts. You can rest assured that whatever you tell me will remain between us.
All right. The professor spoke at length about Jupiter and the houses, and then he told me that my bodily humours are out of balance.
I would expect so. And what did he recommend?
Well, that I should get more silver into my body. So I wear more silver jewellery, and when there's a full moon, I go to the meadow here below the castle, naked.
Really? So you're taking it quite seriously. And has it worked?
No, but there'll be a full moon soon, so I could damn well use some other advice.
I understand. Tell me, sir, what do you usually eat?
Well, I often eat from the banquet table.
So, a lot of roasted game?
Yes, and pâtés, goose, duck. I dine as befits my status.
I see. With your permission, I'll examine you, sir.
What? Here and now?
Don't worry, I'll just have a look at you. You don't have to lie down or strip.
I'm glad to hear it.
You're quite pale and rather sweaty.
When it comes upon me, I sweat a lot.
Your eyes are all right. Do you have ringing in your ears?
No.
Do your hands shake?
Well, I'm not the youngest, but it's nothing too bad.
All right. Sir, I'm afraid you have a stomach ulcer. If it's not treated, you could even die of it.
Good God! What should I do?
The main thing is a strict diet. No fatty or heavy foods. In other words, nothing from the banquet table. You have to eat boiled white meat, poultry or fish, lots of vegetables, and gruel.
Gruel? Like a...
Yes, like the common folk. And another thing, you mustn't get angry, under any circumstances.
What? I mean, what?
That's the way. Oh, and I'll get you a herbal potion. I know exactly what will do you good.
Can't you get me that potion right now?
I don't have the required remedy, but I could brew it. Only, I don't have the apparatus for that. And also, I could use some medical literature.
Don't worry about that. Our surgeon is also often at a loss. I expect you'll find everything you need in his study. It's upstairs in the Crone. That's the second tower. Now we're under the Maiden. Do you know how to get there?
I think so, but I was told to stay only in the outer courtyard. I wouldn't want to get in trouble.
Trouble? I'm the one who has trouble. Don't worry. Tell them I sent you. Just go, for heaven's sake.
All right. Besides caring for your mortal coil, the well-being of your soul shouldn't be neglected, sir.
What do you mean by that?
I think I could pray for your health. A word to angels to ask for their intercession can work miracles. The greatest Christian physicians recommend healing in both the material and spiritual world. And you have a very nice chapel here.
Father Nicodemus takes care of that. What I want from you is medicine, not talking to angels. Got it?
Yes. I'll go and get something for you.
Good. If you'd be so kind... Oh! And don't forget to light the fire in the main hall. It's as cold there as a dungeon. And that doesn't do me any good.
Where's that fool of a blacksmith?
Scrub you're after. You'll have to wait. I've been here for ages.
Let me pass. The Master Chamberlain isn't well, and he sent me to the surgeon's study for medicine.
All right then, but nothing better go missing there.
Don't worry. I suppose you're waiting here for a bite to eat.
Damn right. Like, I know they're preparing a banquet for his nibs, but they could have left one cook here, or at least a bit of gruel, for Christ's sake.
I can see if I've got anything to eat on me.
Hey, I need some decent grub, not some mouldy bread.
You might be surprised. Oh, I must have got mixed up.
Well, go and get mixed up somewhere else, beggar.
Why don't you go to the other kitchen? They're cooking there.
Are you daft? That's the noble's kitchen. We get our food here.
I'll be going then.
Go, and if you meet the cook, send her here.
You!
Who are you, actually?
Me? I'm just cleaning here.
And what were you doing at the pond, then?
I thought we straightened that out the last time you bothered me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
What's your name?
What's it to you?
Nothing. It's just common manners that people introduce themselves to others.
Well, I always was an unmannerly girl, so tough luck.
We both know you're lying. The question is, why?
Says someone who was just sitting in a jail cell and will end up right back there if anyone calls the guards on him.
You know I was locked up? For such an uncaring girl, your interest is a bit suspicious.
Right. I spend the whole day following you and the arrogant fool around, spying on you.
That's exactly what I think.
Well, think again. You? What in God's name are you doing here?
I was about to ask you the same question.
I work here, genius.
I need help.
Who doesn't? I still have to clean out all the fireplaces in the Crown. Do you know how many there are?
I don't know or care. I was sent here by the Chamberlain. He wants me to help him with his stomachache.
That slimy toad. If he doesn't watch out, his stomach will be the least of his worries.
Well, you look like you know your way around here. Maybe you can help me.
Why should I?
Because we're birds of a feather.
How do you mean?
Well, let's just say we both go where we shouldn't be going and take things that don't belong to us.
Oh, really? You must be mixing me up with someone. I just clean up here. And you don't look like someone who knows much.
Really? Didn't you lose a comb by any chance?
What? How did you...
How? I know a thing or two. So, do you believe me?
That was pretty good, I have to admit. And now give it back to me.
As you wish. And now I'm sure you'll be very happy to help me.
All right. If it's medicine you're after, the surgeon has a store across the corridor. There's all sorts of junk there, but there's one chest where he puts stuff that he hasn't used up. He locks it carefully, but you might get lucky.
And what if there's nothing interesting for me in there?
Then tough luck. But you can go and have a look at his records. That crackpot writes down everything he does. Maybe he gave someone something that might be of interest to you.
All right. Thanks.
And now get out of my way. Simple maid like me has lots of work to do in this castle.
The third toll. I better get moving.
So make sure everything's in order.
Sir, about those health problems of yours.
Yes?
I have exactly what you need, sir. Sir, I'd recommend that you take this digestive potion to settle your stomach. Take it after every meal, and don't forget, a good diet, and do not get upset.
All right. Thanks, then.
And now you ought to go and lie down, sir.
Lie down? Me? Ha! Without me, this place would grind to a standstill.
Sir, medicine isn't enough. You also need rest. Otherwise my potion won't have much effect.
Oh, all right then. I'll try it.
And another thing. I don't want to bother you, sir, but I have a question.
Yes? What is it?
Couldn't I go and pray in your chapel?
Ah, that again. Good heavens. Go where you want, boy. I'll inform the guards.
Thank you, sir. Pardon me for disturbing you, miss.
If you want to pray, go somewhere else. The chapel is closed. Unless you're a priest. Which I presume you're not.
No, I'm not. My name is Henry.
I'm Adela, Thomas's sister. What is it you want, Henry?
I need to talk to your brother.
No chance of that. He's been lying in a fever for 3 days, and the surgeon is away with Sir Otto. Unless he returns soon, Thomas won't be talking to anyone ever again.
I heard that your brother is lying in a fever, so I brought something for him that might help.
Really? I don't know what to say. And I was against dragging Thomas to the chapel. I felt it would only burden him more.
God moves in mysterious ways. We ought to administer it to him quickly.
Yes, of course. His fever is getting worse. If this doesn't work, I don't think he'll last long.
You all to be vigilant. These days we have all sorts of vagabonds, drifters, outlaws and bandits roaming the country. And we have one of those vermin here today. A fella called Hans, who is clearly not right in the head. A dangerous man, a brawler, and a thug, the worst of all, a poacher. And so, for the damages he caused to our dear Lord Otto von Berghoff, he is sentenced to be hanged by the neck until dead!
Stop! You can't execute this man. He's a noble. Captain Thomas here will testify that we're messengers from Rattay.
What is this nonsense, for Christ's sake?
It's true. I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein.
Deal with it, for God's sake!
But, sir, the captain...
Captain Thomas has a fever. He's clearly delirious. Seize them immediately.
You can't do this! I am a nobleman, do you hear? A noble! Get your hands off me! You can't do this!
Open the gates!
My lord.
What the hell is going on?
It was just a... It's a hanging.
You can't hang him. He's a noble. That's for me to judge. Take him down! And for Christ's sake, help me off this horse!